गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स। आज हम देखते हैं सेल्सफोर्स अपेक्स इंट्रोडक्शंस जो कि सेल्सफोर्स डेवलपर सिलेबस में अपेक्स एक पार्ट है डेवलपर का, तो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। What is Apex? Apex is a strongly type of object-oriented programming language that is allow you to developer to execute flow and transaction the control the statement on the Salesforce server in the conjunction the with call to the API using the syntax that look like Java and act like the database store producers. Apex enables the developer to add the business logic to most system event, including the button click, related records, update, and Visual Force page. Apex code can be the entity by with request and from the triggers on object available in the Salesforce classic, not available in the all org, enlightening the experience available in this enterprise, the performance, the unlimited developers and database.coms editions. You can add Apex to the most system event. Screenshot, sorry, a screenshot that is a show server of the place in the server interface that is can be executed Apex code. Next, as a language, Apex is integrated. Apex provides the built-in support for the common lighting the platform items, including the data manipulation, the language DML calls such as insert, update, and delete. That is include the built-in DML expectation handlings. Inline the Salesforce object query language SQL and Salesforce object search language SOSL queries that is returns list of object in records. Looping that is allowed for the bulk processing of the multiple records at a time. Looking for syntax that is a prevent records update the fields. Custom public API calls that is can be the built from the store Apex methods. Warning and the errors issue the when you use priors to the edit and delete and custom object feeds that is a reference by the Apex. Easy to us. Apex is based on the familiar Java items such as a variable and expression, the syntax block and conditionals, statement syntax, the loop syntax object and the array the notations where Apex introduce new element. It is it uses the syntax that is a semantics that are easy to understand and encourage efficient use of the lightning platform. Therefore the Apex produce code that is both succinct and easy to write. Next, data focus. Apex is a design to the thread together multiply query and the DML statement into the single into of work on the Salesforce server. The developers use database store and producer to third together the multiply transaction statement on database server in the similar way like other the database store producers. Apex does not the attempt to provide the general support for rendering element in the user's interface. Rigorous Apex is strongly typed language that is a direct reference to the schema object such as the object and the field's name. It is a field quickly at the compile time is any reference are invalid. Store all custom fields object and the class independence in metadata to the ensure that they are not the deleted will be required. Achieve the Apex code. Instead, Apex is interpreted, executed, and controlled entirely by the Lightning platforms. Next, Multi-talent aware, like the rest of the Lightning, the platform Apex runs in the multi-talent and environment. So that is Apex in run times engine is designed into the ground closely against runway code, preventing in from the monopolizing share the resource. Any code that is violate limit fails with easy to understand. Here is the message. Easy to easy to test. Apex provide the bulk in the support from unit text and certain and the executions in the include text result that is indicate how too much code is covered and which part of the the course cloud be the more efficient. Salesforce ensure that is all the custom apps would work and expected by the existing all unit text paired to the any platform upgrade versions. You can save your the Apex code again different the version of the API. This is enables you and maintain the behavior. Apex is include the performance editions, unlimited editions, developer editions, enterprise editions, and the database.coms. Next, in future as Apex programming language, here are the important the feature of Salesforce Apex. It is a upgrade automatically. Apex is a case insensitive language integrated with of the DB, which means it can be accessed and the manipulate records without the needs to establish DB connection expectedly. It has Java-like the syntax and it is easy to use. It is easy to takes as a provider, but in the support for executing test case multi-tenant environment, you can save you Apex code again different the versions of the Salesforce API. Next, Apex is case insensitive and language. You can perform the DML operation like the insert, update, uh, upsert, delete on object records using the Apex. You can create the object records using the SQL Salesforce object query language and SQL Salesforce object search language in Apex allow you to create unit text, execute, then verify the code coverage and the frequency of the code in Apex. Apex execute in multi-talent environment. Salesforce has a defined some governor limit that private as user from controlling the share the resource. Any code that is crossed the Salesforce government limit fails errors show up. Salesforce object can be used as a data types in Apex. For example, account ACC is equal to new account. Here account is a standard Salesforce object. Apex automatically upgrade with every Salesforce release. Next, when should the developer choose the Apex? Apex code should only be written as a business sensor is to the complex and cannot be implemented using the pre-built functionality and provided by the Salesforce. Following are the five the sensor where we need to write Apex codes to create web service that is integrate the Salesforce with the other application to implement the customer validation on the subject. The execute custom object logic when or DML operation is a performed to implement functionality that is cannot be implemented using the existing and workflow flow and the process builders functionality. Next question to set up the image service, you need to include processing the content headers and the attachment of the emails using the Apex course. Next, working structure of the Apex. Now in this Apex tutorial, we will learn about working the structure of Apex. Following the are the flow and the actions for the Apex course. Developer action, all of the Apex codes written by the developers is a complied into the set of the instructions that can be the understood by the Apex runtimes interpreter when the developers save the code to the platform. These instructions then save the metadata to platforms in user action. When the user's event execute Apex course, platforms over the get the complied this in structures instructions from the metadata run into the Apex interpreters before the returning the result. Next, Apex syntax variable declarations. As the Apex strongly typed language is a mandatory to declare of the variable with the data types in the Apex. For example, content con is equal to name the context. Here is a variable con declare the with contact as a data types. SQL query. SQL stands for the Salesforce Object Query Language. SQL is a used to fields an object and records from the Salesforce database. For example, account is ACC is equal to bracket select ID name from the account and limit 1. The above the query fetches account the records from the Salesforce database. Lookup statement. Lookup the statement is used to iterate over the records in the list. The number of the interaction equal to the number of the records in the list. For example, list is list greater than account list of the accounts and is equal to bracket select ID name from the account limit 100 bracket close, and interaction the over the list of the account or the account is the list of the accounts, and you are the logic in the above the snippet of the course. List of account is a variable of the list data types. Next, flow the control statement. Flow the control statement is a beneficial. You want to the execute sum of line of the course and based on the sum conditions. For the example, list account list of account is equal to this bracket select ID name from of the account limit and 100. Execute the logic if the size of the account list is a greater than 0. If bracket list of account size and greater than 0 bracket close, you are the logic, and the above the snippet of for the queries account the records from the database and checking the list size. DML statement. DML statement stand for the data many population language. DML statement are used to manipulate data in the Salesforce database. For example, account ACC is equal to new account and bracket name is equal to test account bracket close. Insert ACC is equal to DML statement to create the account records. Next, Apex development environment. Now in these Apex programming tutorials, we will be learn to Apex development environment. Apex code can be the deploy in either in the sandbox or the developer edition of the Salesforce. In this best of practice for the DevOps the course in the sandbox environment, and then deploy it to the production the environment. Apex code in deployment tools and following of the 3 tools available to develop Apex code in the addition in Salesforce. Host.com developers console and host.com is the IDE code editor in the Salesforce users interface view. Next questions. Data types in the Apex. Following are the data types supported by the Apex primitive integer double long date and time string ID and a boolean, and the consider as a primitive data type. All the primitive data types are the passed by the value not be reference. Collections, their type of the collection are thus available in the Apex list. It is an orders collection of the parameters, the object and collection or the Apex object based on the indicates set, and an order collection of the unique primitive, and map, it is a collection of unique primitive keys that is mapped to the single value, which can be primitive the object collection and the apex object. Next, object. This is a special data type of the Salesforce. It is a similar to the table and SQL that contain field which are the similar to columns in the SQL. Enums, uh, enums is an abstract that is type data type that is stored on the value of the finite set of the specified the identifiers classes object, and it refer to any data type of which is supported in Apex interface. Apex access specifier following are the access specifier supported by Apex public. This is the access specifier the give access to class and methods variable to be the used by the Apex within the namespace private. This access the specifier give access to the class methods the variable to be the used to locally write in the section of code. It is a define all of the technology variable that do not have any access. Specifier defined have a default access specifier of the private. Next, protected. This access specified the give access of methods variable to be the use any inner classes returns defined the Apex class global. This is the access specified given the access to the class and methods are variable to the used by an Apex within the namespace namespace as well as outside of the namespace it is a best practice not to use any global keywords until the necessary keywords in the Apex with sharings. If a class is defined with these keywords, then all of the sharing rules apply to the current users is in force. And if this keywords is absent, then code the execute under the system content. For example, public with sharing class, my Apex class sharing rules and imports when code is a class execute. Next. Without sharing, if a class of the defined with these keywords, then all the sharing rules apply to the current users is not in force. For example, public without the sharing class, my Apex class sharing rules is not the in force when code in the class execute. Static, a variable methods is defined with a static keywords initialized once and associated with the class static. The variable methods can be the call by class name of the directly without the creating in instance of the class. Final, a constant method is defined with the final keywords cannot be overridden. For example, public class, my class, static final the internet int and just then constant is equal to 10. And if you try to the override the value of the this into int constant variable, then you will be get the expectation the system final the expectation final variable has already been in initialized. The returns, this keyword returns a value from the methods. For example, public string get name and return the text null. Null is a defined null consent and can be the assigned to be variable. For the example, balloon be the is equal to null. When virtual Virtual, if a class of the defined with a virtual keywords, it can be the extended and or redundant. Abstract, if a class is defined with abstract keywords, is must contain at a list of one methods with keywords abstract, and methods should only have two signatures. For example, public abstract class, my abstract class, abstract intergame my abstract methods. Next, Apex string. The string is a set of the characters with no characters limit. For example, string the name is equal to test. There are the server into the bolt methods provided by string class in the cells following the are the file frequency and mostly use function. Abbreviate max with this is method truncate as a string to the specified the length and the returns it if the length of the given string is longer than certified length. Otherwise, it is a returns the original string. If the value of the maximum width variable is less than for this method system of the runtime's expectations system, string the expectation the minimum the abstraction the within the is 4. Example, string is equal to hello words string to abbreviate it system debug bracket s2 plus s2 bracket close is equal to hello. Next, capitalize. This method convert the first letter of the string, the little case and the written in the written ID. For example, string s is equal to hello, string s2 is equal to c capitalize bracket system is equal to hello s2 content sub string. This is a method system. It is a returns to it is the string calling the methods contain the substring the certified string name 1 is equal to test1 string name 2 is equal to test2 but boolean flag is equal to name and content name 2 string dot debug is bracket plus flag is equal to 2. Next, remove the substring. These methods are remove all the occurrence of the mentioned substring the string from the string that is call of the methods and it returns the resulting string. For example, string s1 is equal to Salesforce and the first.com. String s2 is equal to s1 dot remove the first. The string dot debug bracket s2 plus s2 select end of form substring start index. This method setting is the substring start the substring start index. This is the method to return the substring that is the form of the characters and start index extend to the last of the string. For example, string s1 is equal to burger. String s2 is equal to s1 dot substring bracket 3 system dot debug bracket s2 plus s2 bracket close and burger reserve reverse. This method reverse all of the characters of the string and returns it. For the example, string s is equal to hello, string s2 is equal to s reverse system debugs bracket s2 and plus s2 hello. Trim. These methods remove all the landing with white trace from the string and returns it. Next, Apex trigger. Apex trigger is enabled to the execute custom Apex before and after DML operation perform. Apex Salesforce following the two types of the triggers. Before triggers in there, the triggers are used to validate and updated in the fields value for before and record save to the database. After triggers, these triggers are used to access to fields in a records ID, last modify ID, and fields set by the system after and records committed to the database. This fields value can be used to modify other the records and records that is a fire after and triggers are the ready to only. Syntax of the Apex triggers. Triggers is triggers name on object name. Triggers is event and code block. Is executive return of the return if the current context 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 for the Apex code is a trigger, not a visual force, which will web service and the execute API calls. Insert to is to returns true if this triggers was a fired to an insert operation from the Salesforce user and interface Apex on the API. Is update returns to if this triggers was fired to the update operation from the Salesforce user interface Apex or the API. In delete returns to if this trigger was fired to the delete operation from the Salesforce user interface Apex or the API. Is before returns to this if this triggers was a fired before any records was a saved, and is after returns to is if this returns to if this triggers was fired after all the records were saved. In is undelete return to if this triggers was a fire after records recover from the recycle bin. This recovery can be either after an unread operation from the Salesforce user interface Apex or the API. Next, a new returns a list of the new version of the subject records. This is sorry, object records. The object this is this object list of the only available in the insert and update and undelete triggers, and the records can be only modify the before triggers new map a map of ID to the new versions of the object and records. This map is only available in the before, after, and after insert, after delete, and after undelete triggers. Old returns a list of the old version of the object returns. This object list only the available in the update and delete triggers. Old map of the ID to the old version of the object and records. This map is only available in the update and delete triggers. Operation types returns and in of the type system triggers operation the corresponding to the current operation possible value of the system triggers is operation uh, are before insert after and after update before delete before update before and delete the after insert the after update delete after delete and after undelete. If you are the variable the programming logic based on the different triggers type of the consider using the switch statement with the different permutations of the unique triggers executed in state. A size, the total number of the records in the triggers innovations, both of the old are new. Triggers event, it can change the field is triggers.new. We can update the original object using the update DML operation. Can delete original object and using the DML operation. Before insert allow, not the application is original object is not been uncreated. Nothing is a reference. If so, nothing can be undeleted and not the applicable is original object has not been the created. Nothing can be reference it, so nothing can be update it. After insert, not the allow in runtime error is throw as well triggers new already save or allow or but unnecessarily the object and delete the immediately after being the insert. Before update allow, not allow the runtime error is a throw, not allow runtime error is a throw. After update, not allow runtime errors is a throw as a triggers new already save. Allow even the third bad for the cloud case in the infinite equations doing this incorrectly is errors will be found by the governor limits. Allow the updated as the saved before our object is deleted. So if the object in undelete if the update become visible before delete, not the allow is a runtime even is throw triggers is new not available in the before and delete and triggers. Allow the updated are saved before and object is deleted. So if the object is undelete, the update become visible. Not allowed to runtimes error is a so the deletions is already in the program. Next, uh, batch class in Apex. Batch class in Apex is also used to progress large number of the records that is would be executed. Apex governor limit and is a process normally batch class executed code and start. This is a method generate. This is scope of the records or object be processed by the interface method that execute during the executions of the batch. It is a call or it is a call on once only. These methods are the returns of the database query locator object is the interval. The number of records retrieved by SQL query using the database query locator object in 15 million records, but using and variable the total number of records that can be the retrieved by the SQL query the 15,000 only. Iterable is used to generate complex scope for the batch task. Syntax of start methods, global database query locator, variables object and start the database batches and constable. Execute. This is method is used to processing batches of chunk of data for each of the chunk is of records. Execute the method is called the default batch size is a execution is a 200 records. Execute methods take to agreement. The reference to the database batches context object, a list of the objects such as a list object or the list of the parameter rights have the syntax of the execute and methods global wide the execute database and batchables and construct BC list. Finish. This is the finish methods is a call and once during the executions of the batch class post processing operation can be the perform the finish methods. For example, sending the configuration image. This is method call when all of the batch get the process syntax of the finish methods global wide the finish and database batchables and context and BC. Thank you so much. Bye.